Welcome to the afternoon shift. It is Wednesday, November 12th. I'm Adam-llorens.
I'm Maxwell Fuller, excuse me.
That's right.
Got the glasses on. A.K.A. Thelonious Monk.
Oh, yeah, Thelonious Monk, of course.
Yeah,
the
you into
jazz
jazz
artist.
music? You a jazz guy?
I dabble here and there,
Yeah,
yes.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you? What instrument would you play? Would you be a saxophone guy? Would you be a pianist?
Yeah, like Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to know how to play the piano. The
Yeah, me
piano and the
too.
guitar would be cool,
Yeah,
too.
those would be the ones that come in most handy. Saxophone
bass.
is the coolest.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. Bass would be
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Saxophone's the coolest. Though.
Yes.
That's the sexiest, but it doesn't really come in handy. How often are you going to get to show off your skills on a saxophone? Well, there's random pianos that just laying around at airports or on the street, and you never know when you get a chance to bust out the old guitar. You could be one of those cool guys on the train that carries a guitar around on the backpack or whatever.
That's right.
So I mean, those would be the ones that come in most handy for sure.
Yeah, Oscar Peterson, another great jazz pianist. Yes. Yeah, I like the Oscar Peterson trio. Yes, Canadian.
I didn't know you were an elite jazz mind.
I took one class. I know a couple of things. Yeah, not too
A.K.A. Frony Bennett.
Tony
Bennett.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Great Tony Bennett.
I left my heart in San Francisco.
Yeah,
one of his big ballad songs.
Yeah,
some duets later in his life with Lady Gaga.
For sure.
Yeah. Really
That's I introduced him to a whole different generation
yes.
there. And it's a fantastic. I mean, I think he did some stuff with Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
He's just, ushering in the newer generation, embracing the newer generation. Shout out to Tony Bennett. But I'm Frony Bennett, a.k.a. the Black Dean Martin.
Okay.
Back to the afternoon shift.
All right, Volare.
Yeah,
let's do
it. I love that song.
Everybody loves somebody
Frolade.
sometimes. Yeah, Frolade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That song plays at Cassetta's all the time.
Oh, it probably checks out. I still got to get to Cassetta's.
So
we
good.
love St. Paul.
That's so
See,
good.
this is some St. Paul love coming from the
Exactly.
both of us for the record. I mean, I already love St. Paul, but coming from Max, yes.
I love St. Paul too. Just sometimes it's not carrying its weight.
Yeah, so
know
I think we need to have a St. Paul off with like Lauren Andrego. She's St. Paul,
Yeah,
like
that's true.
Kara's from
Kara
St.
St.
Paul.
Paul.
Some other Mim's from St. Paul.
Grace of St. Paulian.
I think Paul is cutting it today. Paul, what's your favorite part about St. Paul, your namesake city?
Well, I love how it looks. I love the aesthetic of St. Paul. It kind of has that sort. I love the red brick of it. I like to go over there. It's I think I'm much more of a St. Paul kind of guy than I am a Minneapolis kind of guy.
Oh, everybody's
Just putting
turning
it
on
out there.
Minneapolis.
Everybody's
Turning on Minneapolis. That's okay. I'll hold it down for Minneapolis.
You're holding it down for
I'll
Minneapolis.
hold it down for Minneapolis.
Yes.
I love them both though.
There you go.
I love them
there
both.
You go.
Grace says she's team Minneapolis.
Grace is team
She's got my
Minneapolis,
back.
too. Okay, all right. So Paul and I could be team St. Paul. So yes, I'm down for that. I'm down for that. I thought Paul was going to say the Como Zoo was his favorite part of St. Paul too.
He sure does.
It's
love
a great.
Como
Is
Zoo.
it the Minnesota Zoo technically in St. Paul as well?
It's in Apple
Technically?
Valley, which is a suburb of
Which is
St.
where
Paul.
That's where you went to high school.
That is where I went to high school.
Yes,
It is.
yes.
Absolutely. Eastview
Yes.
High School, stand up. Shout out to the Lightning.
Yes, yeah, and the TV production class there as well.
No. I didn't. No shame. No slander towards the Eastview TV production crew. Other schools broadcasting.
That's right.
Crews.
That's right.
Not so much.
Yes.
I would slander them, but
Yes.
not Eastview's.
Yes.
They do good work and tell you what's for lunch every day.
Perfect. And we do good work here on the afternoon shift as well. We have a great show planned out for everybody. Today is day 43 of the government shutdown, but it seems like it could be ending tonight.
Yeah.
So we have a professor from Georgetown University's Department of Government. We got
wow.
Dr. Michele.
Straight from the source.
Straight from the source. Dr. Michele Swers. She's going to join us live from Washington, D.C. Then we're going to be taking shots from inside the House floor where they're starting to vote here momentarily.
Yeah.
The vote is expected to really get going around 7 o'clock with their speeches and whatnot. So we're going to have that happen. And then Andy Greder, our friend from St. Paul's Pioneer Press.
Absolutely.
Talking about the Minnesota United, who also kind of play in St. Paul. It's a little on the border.
They do.
but-
They play in St. Paul.
play in
Allianz
St.
Field
Paul.
is in St. Paul.
Yes, they're going to be playing in the beautiful city of San Diego 12 days from today.
Really?
The Elite Eight of the MLS Cup.
Oh.
So not this coming Monday, the following Monday.
Let's go.
If you want to watch it, good luck to you. It's going to be on Apple TV, and if you don't have that, then good luck. So
We know our Fox 9's very own Pierre Nugent enlightened us.
yes,
You could say, about the struggles of the MLS fan here in America trying to watch the very product that they love.
Yes.
It is ever elusive, about as elusive as that first club trophy for the Minnesota United.
that's right. We'll be able to talk to Andy all about that. Andy gets on a plane to Eugene, Oregon tomorrow to go catch the Gophers on
lucky.
Friday night on Fox 9, that game. Krispy Kreme, they're in Fridley, Minnesota.
Back.
They're back, and we have one of their executives of the whole corporation,
Wow.
Patrick McIntyre. He's coming. He's bringing donuts.
Oh,
we're going to really
he's
celebrate
my favorite
Krispy
guest
Kreme.
already. Absolutely. Top
Krispy
tier
Kreme
guest
today. Yes, this will be great. First, we want to get into some headlines. There are two major news stories today: the government shutdown, and the latest with these Jeffrey Epstein documents here. House Democrats, they released emails earlier today. One of them, where Epstein is quoted as saying President Trump, quote, spent hours at my house, end quote, with one of Epstein's victims. The White House called the release of emails a smear. So this one is going back and forth, and we'll kind of see where this one ends up.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that part of the government reopening that will be whether it is these files being released in full or the lack thereof will be a significant story coming out of the end of the government shutdown, the government reopening, because that's been a sticking point to my knowledge is ACA and kind of the contents of these Epstein files, which it seems like we're already getting just a little bit of them. I know that there was tons and tons of documents that were released today, but yeah, we'll see what else is in store for this story. That just seems it's just absolutely bonkers, man.
Yep, 23,000 additional pages were released today, and of course, also happening today. To your point about this being a sticking point, a Democratic House of Representatives, I believe, and we can get Dr. Swers to confirm this. A member will be confirmed today by Speaker Mike Johnson, which should be that vote that gets it done. So lots more on this, and
sure.
we'll bring you the latest when there's more info. Also sticking here in Minnesota, Vance Bolter, he's accused of shooting two state lawmakers and their spouses. He was back in federal court earlier today. Of course, one of these lawmakers was the late Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman. Bolter has pleaded not guilty. So that was a crazy story this summer that kind of. It's easy to there's been a lot of craziness.
For sure.
It's easy to kind of forget that one, but now it's kind of back here. Yeah.
Unfortunately, the news cycle it's never ending. It keeps moving on, and we don't get to give proper attention and due to some of these stories. And unfortunately, it's still kind of dragging on. I would imagine that's really tough for the families involved and whatnot. So we'll see. We'll continue to hear about the outcome and report on it here on the afternoon shift.
No doubt. And a little bit of lighter news, actually a lot lighter news than those two. The penny, today is the final day of, that's it.
What?
That's it.
They're dead. There are no more pennies after today.
Beginning tomorrow, they will no longer create the penny.
What's going on?
The mint the government shut down. We don't have any more money. We can't make the penny.
We can't make the penny anymore.
Well, it cost more than 1 cent to make the penny.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No pun intended. Yes. Or maybe the pun was intended. I think it costs like 4 cents to make 1 cent. It doesn't.
Hustling backwards, as they say.
Yeah, it's kind of nonsensical.
So R.I.P. to the penny, rest in penny. To the old Abe on the bronze there, the copper, I should say.
That's right.
I'm gonna miss the penny.
Are you?
I'm gonna miss the penny. Yeah. I'm a believer in the penny.
Okay.
As somebody that's been broke most of my life, the penny is a near and dear friend to me. The penny's got me on the bus sometimes. I remember paying for an anime magazine when I was a kid in almost all pennies. And I know that person at Blockbuster probably still hates my guts to this day.
Oh.
To this day. But I paid in a bunch of pennies. So shout out to the penny. We will miss you.
Yeah.
I will miss you.
Have you used change this year?
Yes.
For sure. Yes.
Get on the bus sometimes before I realized there was a bus app. Gosh, it took me forever. I was like, how does everybody get on the bus?
Do they check the fares on the bus in Minnesota?
Yes.
They do?
100%. I've actually gotten a ticket. The one ticket I've ever gotten in my life, like as an adult, was for not paying for fares on the light rail. Oh. I had some fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I wasn't old enough to have certain fun.
Oh.
I got on the train unknowingly, didn't pay for my fare, which I'd never done before, ever in history before that, and never since. And I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Woke up. This train police in my face. Where's your ticket?
Oh.
And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have. And my friend, I was with a friend. She was supposed to be responsible. She didn't even come up with like a good lie, a good excuse. She just said we didn't have a ticket.
Yeah.
And they were like, where's your ticket? So I was like, oh, she just told you guys the truth. We don't have one.
Yeah.
We didn't even come up with, oh, he's sick. Yeah. Oh, we're in a rush. And nothing.
Yeah.
No excuse.
Yeah.
No lies. Yeah. Just the honest truth. Which I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And then we got tickets. I got a ticket. It was $175.
Woo.
At the time, it was $1.75 to buy a light rail ticket. It's more expensive now. At the time, it was $1.75 to buy a light rail ticket. So that means I could have bought 100 light rail tickets for the price of one ticket that I had to pay the fee for. So after that, I made sure I always buy my tickets. But on the buses, the train. You can kind of play fast and loose with the train a little bit, but the bus there's no fast and loose with the bus. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good to. I've taken the light rail a couple of times. I never known where to. I know they have the machine, but every time I've gone, the train's been pulling up, and I'm just like, I'm going to get on the train. I'm just going 2 stops.
Yeah.
So, but buy the ticket.
But you can buy the downtown fare, which is only 50 cents.
Yeah. What's that now?
There's a downtown zone ticket. It's only 50 cents if you're only going to stay in downtown.
Okay. Yes.
I think Paul's probably telling us to stop incriminating ourselves.
I just wanted to jump up and let you know that we're actually starting to see live pictures coming in from the House, so that that's all in session, and we're going to be able to hopefully bring you that.
Paul, if you stick here, we were just talking about this earlier. I believe this is the new representative right here.
Yes, correct.
This is the vote. So this is the swearing-in ceremony I was just talking about.
Wow.
This is it.
Yeah.
We got it live somehow. This is amazing.
Wow, incredible.
It's actually happening right before us. You know what? Maybe, Paul, let's take this live. Maybe. Sound up.
I'll need to bring sound up in a second. Just give me 2 seconds.
Looks like everything's going all good.
Without objection, the gentleman from Arizona is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my pleasure to rise today to congratulate our newest colleague and fellow Arizonan on her swearing in as a representative from Arizona's 7th Congressional District, Congresswoman Adelita Grijalva.
So we were just talking about it. That was
Grijalva
that representative, and I don't have her name right in front of me, but that is going to be the deciding vote about these Epstein documents. Ultimately, she just got sworn in. I didn't realize that was happening at 3:11 Central Time, but we got very lucky there.
Incredibly serendipitous and great work by Paul and Grace.
That was great work by Paul and Grace to get that live. That was very cool right there. Somebody coming up next can tell us all about all of this and more.
Yeah.
Dr. Michele Swers. She is a professor from Georgetown University's Department of Government. We're really excited to have her on.
Absolutely.
She'll be joining us next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. Today is day 43 of the government shutdown, the longest in U.S. history.
By a long shot at this point, and it's ever expanding, but it could end today.
It could end today. Here to provide some perspective on all of this is a professor of American government from Georgetown University's Department of Government, Dr. Michele Swers. Dr. Swers, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me.
We appreciate you joining us today. You know, Dr. Swers, I think a lot of people thought that this government shutdown ended a couple days ago. There were a lot of reports out there. It seemed like it was a done deal. Why is it still not totally done yet?
Because the logjam was in the Senate. So the Senate finally broke the logjam, had their vote. The House has been out for over 50 days because they passed a continuing resolution back in September. So now the House has to vote on the Senate bill, and then that bill will go to President Trump for his signature, and then it will go into effect.
So what does the rest of today look like? We just saw the swearing in just a second ago. We took that live. But what does the rest of today look like? Are there people giving comments, trying to kind of persuade their fellow politicians, or is it just going to be like a straight up vote and then we move on? What does today, the rest of today, look like?
So from what I've seen, I think they're planning to vote somewhere around 8 o'clock. They'll have a little bit of debate. But the House, has fairly strict rules. So it's not like the Senate where they can, talk on and on. So they'll stick to their schedule and they'll have the vote. And really the things that people are watching are how many Republicans vote against the bill and how many Democrats vote for the bill, because they only have a 2-seat margin in the House of Representatives for the Republican majority. So they always have to be worried about, keeping their support.
Yeah, and speaking of keeping their support, if we bring it back to the Senate side of Congress, 8 Democratic senators joined Republicans in passing the funding package. What were the motives of some of these Democrat senators to buck party lines?
Well, the senators that buck party lines, Some of them are retiring. Some of them are a little bit farther away from their next reelection fight, so they could afford to do something like this. But part of the motivation for them is shutdowns cause pain, and there have been a lot of pain points, particularly the loss of SNAP benefits for constituents, threats to other benefits, problems with airline travel. So the longer the shutdown goes on, the more pain there is. And they decided that it was worth it to them to try to negotiate to stop the shutdown, even if they couldn't get their major demand. And they were able to get some other things that they wanted, particularly in passing some appropriations bills. So, for example, they passed the agriculture appropriations bill. So that will mean that SNAP will be funded all the way through the end of the fiscal year, which is the end of September.
Kind of jumping off the back of that, a lot of pundits and a lot of people, just regular citizens are kind of saying that they have the feeling that the Democrats, if this deal goes through as it is right now, that they kind of did this all for naught, essentially. I mean, what is your thoughts on that kind of criticism there?
So definitely the Democratic base is unhappy because they felt that they won some big elections just recently, and that they were getting a lot of traction from talking about healthcare, that they have shifted the conversation to healthcare. And a lot of people are seeing rising premiums, particularly if you're on the Obamacare exchanges. So some wanted this to go on longer. And so there will be that, reckoning within the base, and some calling for Chuck Schumer to step down as leader. But right now, within the Senate, no one is calling for him to step down as leader. And they were able to get some appropriations bills, 3 appropriations bills passed for the full year that were negotiated in a more bipartisan manner by the Senate Appropriations Committee than what would have been coming out of the House Appropriations Committee. So they are able to claim some victories there, but they didn't get their main ask, which is what they said that they were doing the shutdown for. But in past years, those who start the shutdown really don't ever get their main ask.
I guess that leads me to my next question. What do you feel like, let's say this shutdown does end today and it ends up being 43 days. What do you feel like are going to be some of the lasting effects that are going to happen because of everything that's gone down over these last 43 days?
Well, there's a number. I mean, just right off the bat, the House was out of session for over 50 days. That means that House committees were not conducting any business. They weren't holding any hearings. They weren't passing any bills through committee. So any of those initiatives are delayed. This shows whenever you sort of increase the partisanship and the polarization and the use of procedural tactics, well, the other side sees that and they might do it the next time. This is only a continuing resolution until January 30th. So if they're not able to negotiate on more appropriations bills and they require a continuing resolution, it would be not for full government funding, but partial government funding. You could see this happen again in January 30th if they're still quite far apart.
So say this, I think we've all just kind of been operating under the assumption that everything is going to end tonight, but say it doesn't pass, do we just start back from zero, or what is the process from here?
Well, if the House did not pass the legislation, probably you would see Republicans twisting some arms, because it would be Republican defectors that they would need to get. And you might see President Trump get more involved. But I think at the moment, most people think that they have the votes.
And if they do have the votes and the president does sign it tonight, can we expect airports to be, full go tomorrow? I mean, you live in the District of Columbia. Reagan has been one of the airports that's been chiefly affected by this. Here in Minneapolis, MSP has been affected by this. These SNAP benefits, these tens of millions of Americans that depend on them. Will all that just be okay on Thursday, per se?
So perhaps not full go, because it'll take time to get things ramped back up. And, you have people that have been furloughed. You have people that have decided perhaps to retire and take other jobs. So it might not all be exactly back to normal right away, but hopefully within the next few days and a week or two, things at least on that side will be back to normal. But you're going to have to, re-implement programs that have been stopped, have people come in that were furloughed. So there's going to be a transition period.
We were talking about it the other day. It's kind of just like who comes out of this in the public perception looking like a winner. And at this point, it kind of seems like nobody, right? It kind of seems like both sides have been weakened and lessened by this. I guess, where do both parties go from here in terms of kind of re-engaging the American public?
So public opinion-wise, I think opinion was fairly split on who was responsible for the shutdown, but Republicans and President Trump were getting a little bit more of the blame for the shutdown. Both parties' bases are unhappy with them for different reasons. So I don't know that anyone comes out of such a long shutdown like this looking great. But certainly on the Democratic side, there's a portion of the Democrats that are perhaps re-energized by the feeling that they feel that they've shown some fight against President Trump. On the Republican side, the Republican leadership really did not end up giving up that much in the end. Certainly, they didn't give up on doing anything about the Affordable Care Act subsidies. So they can feel that they held their caucus together, in order to end the shutdown. But in general, a shutdown really isn't good for anyone. American public, legislators, legislative business, there's really no upside to a shutdown.
I know the vote in the House is sort of the chief order of business today, but right before you came on in our first segment of the show, we were able to catch it live, House Speaker Mike Johnson swearing in the newest Democrat representative from the state of Arizona. I'm not going to try to pronounce her name. It's a name. But can you just tell us why was that swearing in so important with as it pertains to this Jeffrey Epstein case and all of that?
So there's a couple of reasons. So Grijalva being sworn in gives yet another vote to the Democrats. So like I said, he's going to have about a 2-seat margin, so that makes it difficult for him. But she's coming in and she would be the 218th signature on a discharge petition that would be calling for the release of the Epstein files. Now, generally, the Speaker has control of the House floor, but if a majority of the House decides to sign a discharge petition, 218, then you can force something to be voted on the floor. That's still not a guarantee, because right now I think the Trump administration is meeting with 3 of the Republicans, or trying to meet with Republicans that signed the discharge petition. And there were 3, Lauren Boebert of Colorado, Marjorie Taylor Greene from Georgia, and Nancy Mace from South Carolina. So I've seen reporting that Lauren Boebert is at the White House, and I imagine they're trying to convince her to take her name off of the discharge petition, and then maybe they won't have 218 signatures, and so then the discharge petition does not have to be voted on.
Doc, now that remains to be seen whether they get the 218 signature, but there were a bunch of documents released today. I don't know if you got a chance to kind of comb through those or see what information was dropped, but what did we learn today from those new documents?
So the House Oversight Committee released a bunch of documents, and Democrats wanted to highlight particular emails that included President Trump and his relationship with Epstein, and that they are saying, implicate that President Trump knew more and had more of a relationship with him than he's been saying. And so this is something that the White House would rather not have to focus on, would rather not have to talk about. So it's an ongoing issue for the White House, and an ongoing issue that Democrats are going to be trying to focus people's attention on. What
would you say is speaking like worst case scenarios here for the president? What could happen if all of these documents with this representative that she's now sworn in, if they do all get released, what's the worst thing in your eyes that could happen? I mean, is impeachment on the table?
So for President Trump, I think it's not likely that a Republican-controlled Congress is going to impeach him. On the other hand, if Democrats win in 2026 the control of the House of Representatives, well, then you could perhaps see impeachment proceedings against him. I'm not sure if it would be on this issue, or they have other issues that they might decide that they think he's overstepping his powers of the presidency on, that they might consider impeaching him on. When Democrats controlled the House the last time, he was impeached twice, one about not properly using federal funds in the way Congress had appropriated them for Ukraine, and the other connected to what he said and did on January 6th. So it's unlikely he would get impeached by a Republican-controlled Congress, But a Democratic-controlled Congress, that is a live possibility. And that's part of the reason that President Trump and his allies have been pressing for redistricting, mid-decade redistricting in states like Texas and others, and perhaps they'll look at Florida next.
Just to go back to what you were talking about a second ago, that seems like super dubious to just call someone to the White House and be like, "Hey, you should take your name off of that list." Like, is that legal? I mean, I guess I'm kind of curious what reasons have Republicans given that they don't want this released?
So in the House, the Republicans in the House have not been talking about it in that way because they've spent a long time trying to get more information from the Department of Justice about Jeffrey Epstein. It's an issue that motivates their base, certainly. So President Trump doesn't want more attention drawn to it because he doesn't want to have to keep explaining his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And the more that the focus is on that, then it's not on the other things that are more favorable to him with his base, say, what he's done on immigration or focusing on his tariffs or any number of things that he's doing in foreign policy or for the economy. So he would rather not have attention focused on this.
I just think it's so interesting, Dr. Swers, how you brought up, right now, that's probably off the table, but 2026 seems like that next year is going to be a very important election cycle because if Democrats do swing sort of the majorities in Congress, then a lot of these other possibilities are on the table then. Dr. Michele Swers from Georgetown University's Department of Government, we thank you so much for joining us. This was tremendous perspective. Thank you once again. I appreciate it. Hoya Saxa to you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. That was great. That was really great perspective on it all and everything. So
sure.
Yeah,
and she really appreciated that. What was that?
Hoya Saxa.
Hoya Saxa.
That's saying Sky Uma.
It's like Sky Uma.
That's like Sky Uma for Georgetown.
Okay.
That's it. Hoya Saxa. That was a big
Hoya
thing
Saxa.
in the '80s when in 1985 when they beat Villanova beat them, but they won the title the year before that. I think '84.
Right.
She's enjoying this right now because she remembers. She probably knew Dr. Coach Thompson. And Patrick Ewing.
Right.
And all those. She's look. You remember those? Were you at Georgetown then, Dr. Swers? Can we get her audio? You been at Georgetown since the '80s?
I joined. I was there in 2002. So for me, it was John Thompson Jr.
Oh, okay. Right on. Still very connected. My sister works at Georgetown, by the way, so give her a shout out, Jeanette. You'll have to. She was in the School of Foreign Affairs. Anyways, I digress. Thanks, Dr. Michele. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, those are iconic jerseys, those gray jerseys and everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Everybody had those back in the day.
Yeah.
Saxa.
Yeah, I think Spike Lee used to rock that back in the day.
For sure.
Yeah.
And AI went there, right?
Alan Iverson went to Georgetown.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was a thing in the 80s. Dr. Swers, that was great. We are going to go back to the House floor just to kind of take some peeks in.
Yeah.
After this break, so don't go anywhere. We're just getting started here on the afternoon shift. We're back here on the afternoon shift. We're monitoring the House floor. There's a lot of ripple effects. It's not just the government shutdown, as we just learned. This whole the Epstein case. That all of it is all tied together. All of it is all tied together.
It's all happening in the nation's capital right now.
It is. You ever been to D.C. before?
I haven't never been to D.C.
Oh, you
actually.
would love DC.
I would love to visit someday.
You would love it. Yes. This is right now on the House side of the Congress building, our nation's capital, right here. They're beginning votes. Apparently, the votes are really going to pick up around 7 Central Time. So if you're watching the news tonight,
someone's getting ready to hop up on the mic there. Oh, there's some people talking.
There's somebody talking
a little bit.
I haven't asked for its immediate consideration in the House.
Under guidelines consistently issued by successive speakers,
take a listen
as
here
recorded
as to,
in Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, the chair is constrained not to entertain the request unless it has been cleared by the bipartisan floor and committee leaderships. What purpose does the gentleman from Tennessee seek recognition?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker. We Republicans are requesting this unanimous consent. Are Democrats objecting to this request?
Chair reminds the gentleman from Tennessee that, as indicated by Section 956 of the House Rules and Manual, it is not a proper parliamentary inquiry to ask the chair to indicate which side of the aisle has failed under the Speaker's guidelines to clear a unanimous consent request, as was stated. Does the gentlelady from Minnesota seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, by the direction of the Committee on Rules, I call up House Resolution 873 and ask for its immediate consideration.
The clerk will report the resolution.
House Calendar Number 46, House Resolution 873. Resolved that upon adoption of this resolution, it shall be in order to take from the Speaker's table the bill, H.R. 5371, making continuing appropriations and extensions for fiscal year 2026 and for other purposes, with the Senate amendment thereto, and to consider in the House without intervention of any point of order a motion offered by the Chair of the Committee on Appropriations or his designee that the House concur in the Senate amendment. The Senate amendment and the motion shall be considered as read. The motion shall be debatable for 1 hour, equally divided and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on Appropriations or their respective designees. The previous question shall be considered as ordered on the motion to its adoption without intervening motion.
House will be in order. Gentlelady from Minnesota is recognized for 1 hour.
Mr. Speaker, for the purpose of debate only, I yield the customary 30 minutes to the ranking member from Massachusetts, Mr. McGovern, pending which I yield myself such time as I may consume. During consideration of this resolution, all time yielded is for the purpose of debate only. Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, last night, the Rules Committee met and reported a rule providing for the consideration of the motion to concur in the Senate amendment to H.R. 5371, the Continuing Appropriations, Agriculture, Legislative Branch, Military Construction and Veterans Affairs and Extensions Act of 2026. And I am happy to say that it will end the government shutdown. The rule provides 1 hour of debate on the motion, equally divided and controlled by the chair and the ranking member of the Committee on Appropriation or their designees. I rise in support of this rule and the underlying legislation. This bill delivers on our commitment to the American people by finally reopening the government. It delivers on the promises that we have made to our veterans, to our farmers, to our taxpayers. And let's be honest, this government shutdown was completely avoidable. On September 19th, House Republicans passed a continuing resolution that funded critical services and would have given us time to negotiate long-term solutions. It was a yes vote to keep the government open, to pay our troops, air traffic controllers, and federal employees. Every Democrat but one voted no. Every Democrat but one voted to shut the government down. This is not opinion. This is not messaging like Democrats keep trying to spin it. It is a fact that anyone can check the record. Democrats voted against a nonpartisan, clean CR, free of poison pills, and would have continued that would have continued Biden-level funding and kept the government open for negotiations. Democrats chose politics over people. They refused to support a common-sense measure, and American families paid the price. This bill restores stability to our national nutritional programs, which were put under unnecessary strain during the shutdown. It will fund WIC and SNAP, ensuring that low-income mothers and their babies have access to healthy and nutritious foods. These programs should not have been used as a bargaining chip during the shutdown. Republicans are stepping up to protect Americans and ensure these programs remain stable and funded. That is what responsible governance looks like. There are 3 appropriations bills included in this CR, put here to jumpstart our appropriations process. H.R. 5371 delivers for rural America. It provides funding for the Farm Service Agency to support our nation's farmers and ranchers. It invests in rural development programs, including funding affordable housing, rental housing assistance for low-income families and seniors in rural communities. These investments strengthen our local economies and ensure that rural communities are not left behind. For our troops, this bill demonstrates our dedication to veteran medical care, including funding for mental health, telehealth services, homelessness programs, caregiver programs, opioid misuse prevention and treatment, medical research, healthcare tailored to our female veterans, rural healthcare initiatives, and construction for new VA hospitals and veteran cemeteries. We're also funding veteran disability programs, education benefits, and employment training. Funds will be invested in military family housing projects to support those that support our troops, and in projects to improve quality of life for our service members, including hospitals and schools. Mr. Speaker, H.R. 5371 is what governing with a purpose looks like. If Democrats had joined us in September to pass a common-sense continuing resolution, we could have avoided this Democrat shutdown altogether. But they chose reckless posturing over responsibility. Now Republicans are stepping up to restore stability and reopen the government for the people. I stand in support of this bill, and I urge my colleagues to support H.R. 5371 and stay focused on what matters, serving the American people. With that, Mr. Speaker, I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts is recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to thank the gentlelady from Minnesota for yielding me the customary time, and I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman.
I think serendipity is the word of the day here in the afternoon. Yeah, I mean, we just every time we peek into the house floor, we always get something gold, right?
We're getting super lucky, and we got some hometown cooking there with a peek into the Capitol.
Yeah, that was Representative Michele Fischbach. I believe I'm saying that correctly. From the state of Minnesota, a Republican representative who just had the floor for the last 10 minutes there, just about. So,
I know. We got super duper lucky on that one, and I'm sure we'll be dipping in and out of more coverage live from the Capitol throughout the show.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
I guess the plan is when we see something that's coming up, obviously that representative was from Minnesota, like you said, it's totally serendipitous. We'll keep half an eye on it in here, and if we see something that's relevant to Minnesotans, we'll jump in and bring that up. And if we see anything happening with a vote, that's when I'll also jump in again. If we start to see any votes starting to happen and roll in, we'll take everyone to the floor. So yeah, keeping half an eye on it in here and keeping the other eye on you guys.
Perfect.
Let's do it.
Perfect. My vote is to bring some music into the afternoon show.
I'm always down for that, and not just you singing covers of Sound of Music songs. Actual legit local band. Yes, We Are is in the house. We'll learn about who they are and get a chance to hear from their new album.
That's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We got some musical artists in the house.
Absolutely. And when you said we are back, I said yes, we are. Because we have yes, we are in the house. Dylan, Bodie, and Reed Knudsen. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here with you both.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about the music that you guys play?
Yeah, what's the origin story? Every band has a good origin story. What's the origin story?
I don't know how it compares to every other band, but first of all, we're related a bit, and both of us are. I like to think we're dreamers, and music is our dream. It's always been our dream to do this. We had both had other careers, and we've been both writing and playing music our whole lives. And then one day we decided, this is it. We're doing this. We're going to set out and put everything aside and not put away music any longer. We're going to set our course on this band, and we came out with Yes We Are, and that was it. It's only been around since this July.
Oh, wow.
It's a new thing. This is brand new. This is our passion, and we're not holding back any longer.
Absolutely. That's amazing, man. I didn't know how quite new it is.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys are still figuring it out.
We're still figuring it out. Yeah.
Well, how did you come up with the name Yes We Are? What's the meaning behind the name?
Yeah, there's a poem that actually kind of starts with I am, all these things, and it acknowledges all that we are as humanity. So I am am bad or I am good, and maybe it goes through all these different things that we are, the full human spectrum, but we change it to yes we are, because there's two of us, and we're growing. I don't think it stops as the two of us, and really the band to us is everybody that's involved with the project. To us, it's a community of people, right? The two of you now that's sitting with us. Hey. You're part of Yes We Are.
Wow. Look at that.
Right? So, yeah. There you go. There you go. It's it, right? That's all it's about to us. It's the artists that collaborate on our project. We had studio musicians play with us on this upcoming album that we're releasing. It's an EP, but they're part of it. The engineers, the visual artists that collaborate with us on the album. So Yes We Are is a community of people. Yeah, we started it and we founded it together, and we're maybe writing the songs, but it's a collaborative, right? And so that's kind of what it's about, and it acknowledges the full human spectrum.
Awesome. Beautiful. Can you talk to us about the type of music? What can listeners expect when they listen to Yes We Are?
Well, a lot of surprises. It is a wide spectrum of music. The first EP starts with a cover from a Broadway musical. I mean, it is a cover. It does fit in maybe more of the alternative genre. It's a cover song, right? So we put our own spin on it. But then we go into more of our, picks up a bit. There's an acoustic track. And then at the end, more of a ballad, but it's alternative music. Reed, what do you have to say about that? What do you think they can expect?
Yeah, there's some pop and folk in there.
Yeah. We do cover a wide genre, but we tend to lean in the alternative mix. But we try to make. We don't want to be defined or pinpointed. We want to be able to express ourselves in whatever comes to us. I think we like to play with different sounds.
Yeah, you don't want to be put in a box, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Outside the box, like Taco Bell said.
There we go. Yeah, we love Taco Bell. That's awesome.
Who are some of your musical influences, would you say, that inspired you to get
Beatles.
Awesome. Reed's a Beatles fan.
I'm deep into the Beatles.
He's deep into the Beatles.
Yeah, I'm always trying to find someone to talk to about that. when it seems like when it comes up, I talk about it, and I see people's eyes just kind of glaze over. I'm like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get my point across. And then thank you for listening.
Did you go to the Paul McCartney concert?
I didn't. Regrettably, yeah. I've never seen him either, so I really thought about it. I think at this point in his career, it would be just to be in his presence, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not, he's so old now that, like, the voice is starting to go a little bit and everything, and I could have went. I just decided it's not important enough.
Yeah. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Man. I like the Beatles too. I used to hate on them. I used to be like a punk kid, like, man, F the Beatles. I never listened to them. I just hated on them because everybody else liked them. Yeah. And then eventually I started listening to them. I'm like, hey, these guys are. I think for me, for a long time, it was like, by the time I was born, the Beatles were already like spoken to me like about like they were gods. They were inaccessible for me. But then I saw that documentary that came out just a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think the Get Back, was it called, or something like that? Yeah. And I got to see them just being regular dudes talking to each other, just bros making music. And I'm like, okay, these seem like guys I would hang out with. They became more accessible, more human to me. And then I got really into the Beatles.
That's interesting, because I would have thought, when I watched it, I thought kind of like, oh man, people who are not a fan of the Beatles are going to have a hard time watching this, because there's so much, all that time when they're like messing around and just making silly noises and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, if you're not a fan of the Beatles, you might not like make it through this.
I loved it. That's what sold me.
That's awesome.
So we definitely Beatles for Reed. For us, I think there's also like every other local artists. So I think some of our biggest inspiration are just going around to local Minneapolis artists. For me, I get inspired just like sitting in the back of the 331 or the Ice House and just like listening to other local artists play their music. And visual artists are also a huge inspiration. So it's not just musicians, but it's kind of huge for our album release party right now. One of the half of this night for us when we're releasing our music is going to be, it's an art show. Because we get a lot of inspiration from visual art. And we draw that into our music. So I don't know. It's like, that's one of the biggest things for us.
You talk about visiting and listening to a lot of local artists. Can you talk about your Minnesota roots and how important the state is to the making of your music as well?
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up half in Minnesota and half on the island of Maui. So
wow.
So I mean, the state of Minnesota, it is. So the state of Minnesota is really important to me, but also I grew, the state of Hawaii and Hawaiian music and taught me a lot about the importance of supporting local and the people around you. Yeah. And I think that's really big. So, I mean, both places are really important, but the state of Minnesota is really important. And it's, we hear a lot about Prince, who's amazing and has a lot of importance, Bob Dylan, these big names maybe, but it's just the small bands around us that are really important. We have some incredible talent around us, and it can be any night of the week at 331 Club, Bunkers, like I said, Ice House, these small venues that are just, the talent there will just blow you away. And the names of the people that you might not even be able to say off the top of your head, but just like incredible talent to the point where you just can't believe when you walk in the door that these people are from our city. Mm-hmm. And I think we put a lot of our time and energy into celebrities. Yeah. It's maybe too much, right? And we forget to take a lot of that energy and put it into the amazing people right here in front of us. And it's so thank you today for having us here. But I mean, it's so important and so cool what you guys are doing and having local people right here in Minneapolis around us on your show. And I think we should all do that more and more, and with the people here in Minneapolis.
For sure. We all kind of take it for granted sometimes, this art scene, this collective art scene here in Minneapolis. And then you go a place like, I don't know, friggin' Kansas or something. No offense to Kansas. And they don't have a theater scene like this. They don't have an independent music scene like this. And it's all connected here in Minnesota and Minneapolis and St. Paul specifically.
And the visual arts. I mean, we have the like Northeast Minneapolis, all those art studios and just the visual artists here are insane. And we are so lucky to just have a handful of them at our album release party. Like we got the venue set and we're like, okay, we don't want this just to be about us and our music. We need to have the artists that inspired us and bring them into the space and celebrate them. We're so excited to show off their work that night. It's going to be really cool to see their pieces on display, and they're going to be selling them as well. So people that come to our release party can purchase some of their work and see their work. And it's really a celebration, I think, of creativity in general, and what Minneapolis can create and what we're capable of, and even just a sliver of it. We're so excited to show that off. Yeah. And that's what inspires us and keeps us going, right? What's fun to see those local shows is like, okay, if these guys are hustling and they're doing it, that's what helps us get up in the morning. Like, we can get up and keep doing this. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about the album release party. First of all, before we get to the party, talk about the album, because this is you guys' first album, right? Yeah. Like, what was kind of the creative process in making the album? Because I know you guys worked with a lot of different musicians around the Twin Cities.
We did. It was a big concept. It was Into This Garden is the name of it. It's an EP. It's 5 tracks. It's not a full album yet. We're working on one right now that's going to be a full album. But, it was a concept kind of about a journey from loneliness to belonging. And we chose the garden concept because in a time of healing and maybe a lot going on in the world right now, we spent a lot of time in gardens. Yeah. Right, and that's where we found a lot of healing and a lot of analogies of where we thought a lot of beauty could come from for our world right now. There's things like diversity in a garden, right? When you go into gardens, you see really beautiful things of diversity. You never see a garden where there's one type of plant.
Right.
There's what makes up a garden and what makes them so beautiful is all the types of flowers that make them up, and I thought that was really cool. And I wanted to see more of that in my life at the time, for sure. And then we started writing the songs, and they kind of came together. And some of them are literal. There's a song called Daisy we're going to perform later, and then there was a song called Into This Garden. But some of them maybe didn't quite directly fit into the garden, but they were more symbolic of maybe something you might see in a garden. So it just really came together nicely. And then as we were recording it was cool because there's all these different people that made up the musicians and everyone in there. It was like we had all these musicians that came together to build this collective community that kind of felt like this garden of people. We had amazing singers that came to join us, musicians that are from Minneapolis that were studio musicians. We have this 9-year-old that does this little spoken word piece on there. Wow. It's just this cool collective piece of talent and community that makes up this garden. And so we're really excited to share it. And hopefully when listened to from start to finish, it's like walking through a garden and you feel maybe this sense of loneliness at the beginning. That's kind of the emotion we were trying to invoke. And then at the end, you feel uplifted. But we actually patch in some nature sounds. And I mean, we do want to take the listener actually to nature and out of the world for a little bit.
Sure you're not from Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say.
No.
Very extract thoughts. I really like that. It's very
righteous. You guys are some righteous dudes for sure. Some introspective dudes.
Introspective
music with a purpose, man. I love it.
Yes. Can you talk to us about the album release party? What's the name of the album too, by the way?
Into This Garden.
Into This Garden. Yes.
Yep. And album release party. Yeah. I mean, it's this Friday, and we're gonna have art vendors. Food from Lotus Restaurant. Do you guys know Lotus?
I live right by the Lotus.
By
Loring Park.
Yeah. So they're bringing food. So come enjoy some Lotus on us.
So delicious.
True Press Juice Bar. We'll have a juice bar there. They're incredible. A pretty new juice company. Fresh squeezed juices. It's a family-friendly event. Kids get in free. So because we want kids to experience art and get exposed to the creativity that we have here in Minneapolis. And what am I missing, Reed?
Well, we're going to perform.
Oh, yeah. We're going to perform. We're going to perform, actually, so it's not just an album release party for Into This Garden. We're going to do a sneak peek of the next album.
Wow.
So it's also a preview or announcement of our next project. So that's kind of something that people can be excited about, hopefully. And then we have a DJ. It's going to be DJing when the art fair is going to be going on as well. And something kind of cool about it, I want to do a quick shout out if that's okay. We have a sponsor for this event, and I'm really excited about this. Luminate Bank is the name, and I'm not doing this just for a plug for them, but I'm actually excited about the fact that there's a company out there willing to take a chance on artists here in Minneapolis. I just think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it's cool that someone was like, hey, we want to, just like you guys today inviting us on, that there's a company out there that's like, hey, we want to be a part of this arts and keep thriving, and we want to support new artists and support release parties. And so I just wanted to thank them because I think it's cool that they're also part of this. And it just I was grateful and excited that companies are still supporting artists in a very hands-on way, directly like that. So that was really cool that they're a part of it too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we think it's really cool that you guys are making music and that you guys are here. And from a little birdie told me that you guys are going to actually be performing. On the show in a second.
And for the show, I want to just say we have a special discount code for anyone watching today for your show.
Wow.
We have half off tickets if people buy tickets for Fox 9. They put in Fox 9 until Friday. They can get half off tickets.
That's pretty sweet.
Nice.
So anyway,
that's our first discount.
I know.
Is it? Okay. So we're trying to, so thanks for having us. It meant a lot. So thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys aren't done yet.
We're not done yet, so stay tuned. All right.
We're going to hear a song from Yes We Are here momentarily.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are going to hear a song.
Yes, we are.
Yes. We're looking forward to that song here coming up shortly.
Hi, we're Yes We Are, and we're about to perform our single Daisy from our upcoming EP, Into This Garden. Come on, let's go through the fields of flowers, fields of snow. She looks so great, I swear she'll steal the show. A perfect day for dancing nice and slow. She said, oh, my brother, I want you to know, and I don't want to bother, but it sounds beautiful when you call me rainbow. In the middle of the rain, call me sunshine. When you're lost in the pain, call me love. When there's storm clouds above, call me Daisy. Call me Daisy. Love overflows. Of course I'll stay right here and I'll be close. Look, my dearest Daisy is a rose. Let's take a drive along the nearest coast. Because I love you, sister, And I want you to know that it's not a bother, and it sounds beautiful. Calling you rainbow. In the middle of the rain, I'll call you sunshine. When I'm lost in the pain, I'll call you love. When there's storm clouds above, I'll call you daisy. I'll call you daisy. What's in a name? Is this all a game? No, it is power. A name can be all that you're big or small, even a flower. So call her rainbow. In the middle of the rain, call her sunshine. When you're lost in the pain, call her love. When there's storm clouds above, call her daisy. Call her daisy. Call her daisy. Oh, 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 call her daisy. Call her daisy.
Woo! Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. I'll call you Daisy, and I'll call you damn good. That was incredible, man. Are y'all damn good? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Are y'all going to kill it at the album release party?
Yes, we are going to do that.
Absolutely.
And yes, we are glad to be here with you two today. Thank you.
Yes, we are glad to have you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
We really appreciate y'all. One more time. When's the album release party?
Friday at 7 p.m.
Where's it at?
The Journey in Minneapolis. And use Fox9 promo code to get your tickets.
Hell
right.
yes.
Thank you.
That's right.
Hell yes. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Awesome. Yes, we are. We appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Yeah. More to come from the afternoon shift right after this. Welcome back to the afternoon shift. We talk a lot about the Vikings and the Timberwolves and the Lynx and the Twins and the Wild. We got to talk about the Loons. The Loons are in the playoffs right now.
They're in the playoffs, and not only that, they're in the final 8 of the MLS, seeking their first club trophy. We got whatever trophies, whatever championships, titles we can get in Minnesota. We got to take them, and we got to appreciate them.
No doubt, no doubt. They are in the final 8 there, and joining us now to preview the MLS Cup is Pioneer Press sportswriter and Minnesota United reporter, Mr. Andy Greder. Andy, welcome back to the afternoon shift. How are you?
I'm great, fellas. How are you guys?
We're good. Max and I, we were just commenting, we've never seen you with a backwards hat on before.
Right, you're more relaxed. You're chill. I feel like before you were Andrew, but now you're fully embracing the Andy moniker.
Yeah, you're dealing with a rumpled sports reporter who showered last night. So this is as cleaned up as you're going to get me today.
We love it. We love it, Andy. We love you. Can you explain to us the MLS Cup in NFL terms? Is winning the MLS Cup? Is it like winning the Super Bowl for a team like the Minnesota United? Where can we kind of gauge this? Because soccer is complex. There's a lot of different things going on.
Sure. Yeah. So I would say that, there's multiple trophies that they play for each season, right? So there's the U.S. Open Cup. I was on your show earlier this year, and we were talking about how they were in that kind of national tournament. And then there's something called the Supporters Shield, which is kind of the regular season champion. And then there's MLS Cup, which is kind of the playoff champion. So there's 3 different things. Obviously, soccer is very convoluted and messy and complex at times. So this is one of a few trophies that they can win, but they haven't won Supporters Shield. They didn't win the U.S. Open Cup, and this is their best and last chance to win a trophy this year.
Fingers crossed that they do. On their way to potentially winning that trophy, they beat Seattle last week, I believe. And people were saying it's the best game of the MLS Cup playoffs so far. I think I saw a headline that said it was a 10-round shootout. Could you just kind of break down why this game was so enthralling for MLS fans?
Yeah, it was the greatest game in Minnesota United history.
Wow.
They were down 2-0 after 8 minutes against Seattle Sounders, which is kind of the gold standard in the league. And a 2-goal deficit is pretty much a death sentence when it comes to soccer. So they battled back and took the lead at 3-2 going into the second half and gave up an equalizing goal to force penalty kicks in the 88th minute. Minnesota did it with going down to 10 men. They had a player headbutt a guy on Seattle and got kicked out of the game. So they made this big comeback when they were down to 10 men facing 11. And then, like you said, the penalty kick shootout usually goes 5 rounds, and this one went 10 rounds. There were 4 straight misses. The Loons goalkeeper had to make a penalty in the 10th round, and Seattle's goalkeeper missed his. So it was the most dramatic, the most action-packed game I've ever covered in Minnesota's history.
You just mentioned the Loons goalkeeper, Dane St. Clair. Can you talk about him? I read an article saying that he might be the most important player on the team. Would you say that that's true?
He is the goalkeeper of the year in MLS, if that's any indication of how good he is for the team and for the club and for the country. He plays for Canada's men's national team. He's likely going to be starting in goal for the World Cup next year. So yeah, he's one of their best players in Minnesota, and he's one of the best players in the league and one of the best players in the continent.
Wow. Speaking of that, I saw that several United players were called up for international duty. How does that exactly work with the MLS kind of and those players splitting time with the MLS and then going abroad?
Yeah, so the playoffs will take a break here this weekend. So those 8 players will go to their national teams and play for their country. And then they'll come back and get ready for the Western Conference semifinal at San Diego the following weekend. So sometimes MLS plays through international breaks, but during the playoffs, they actually hit pause and will let the players play for their country while their clubs take a little bit of a breather.
Andy, one of Max and I's colleagues at Pierre Nugent, he's a sports reporter here at Fox 9. He kind of went in a little bit on the MLS and just talking about how the organization is structured. I don't know if you saw that clip or not.
I did.
Oh, you did see it. Now, I'm just curious. Listen, like them taking a 2-week hiatus until the next game. The next game isn't until not this upcoming Monday. It's the following Monday at San Diego, and it's on Apple TV, which a lot of people just don't have. Like, do you think the MLS is kind of the marketing department there is kind of missing a little bit of a window?
Well, yeah, I think the streaming service going to Apple TV has hurt the overall product because, like you said, it's behind a paywall. It's on a streaming service, one of 10,000 streaming services these days. So that's been a challenge for them. But they do have games that are on Fox Sports, FS1, FS2. So some of their playoff games have been there. But yeah, they have to take these breaks because it's a global game and FIFA mandates these schedule breaks in between the season. But there's big news pending that MLS is going to flip its calendar. Instead of starting in February and ending in December, they're going to start in the fall and end in the spring. So that way, this time frame where there's an international break won't be coming in the middle of their playoffs. So they're trying to figure out how best to set up this league in a global game.
Fall and winter soccer in Minnesota. That sounds brutal for opponents and the Loons alike. And regardless if anybody's watching or not, they will face off against San Diego FC. And I read a quote from Loons head coach Eric Ramsey earlier. It said, "It's arguably the biggest contrast in styles you can see in MLS." He said that after the Loons beat San Diego FC 3-1 in September. Can you just talk about that kind of style clash that we're going to see here in this Loons-San Diego matchup?
Yeah, so San Diego is a team that loves to have the ball, loves to create scoring chances, likes to get forward and play an attacking style of soccer. And Minnesota is a very defensive team, is fine without having the ball and wants to hit on counterattacks and on set pieces. So you're going to see a game where it's going to be 70% possession to San Diego, and Minnesota is going to sit back and bunker and try to withstand some blows and strike on counterattacks and, like I said, set pieces. So it might look very one-sided, but that's how Minnesota plays the game.
And San Diego's like the favorite kind of in this playoffs right now, right?
Yeah, they're the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They're an expansion team. This is their first year, but they've had a dream season, and they're the number 1 team in the West, and that's why Minnesota has to go there to try to get a win.
Andy, the Loons will go west to play San Diego. I know you're going west tomorrow, more to the Pacific Northwest, I should say, to go see the Gophers play the Oregon Ducks. Again, both Minnesota teams, big underdogs going into each of those matchups. Which team do you think has a bigger chance of pulling off the upset? The Gophers on Saturday or the the Loons next, not this coming Monday, but the following Monday at San Diego?
I would say the Loons have a better chance. I think just given how their styles contrast and it's maybe more likely that they can kind of steal a win on the road. I think Oregon has shown themselves to be a powerhouse when it comes to college football. They play the same style of smash mouth type of game. They've got incredible athletes. I think the Gopher team is going to have a much more daunting task in Eugene on Friday night.
Yeah, could you just give us your I'm sure you're in the midst of digging deep into everything Oregon and Minnesota's matchup. Could you just give us kind of like your 10,000-foot view of what this is going to look like on Saturday? Because I think I saw last they were 24-point underdogs or something like that. So this is a huge deficit that they're expected to take an L by.
Yeah, I think it's gonna come down to, can the Gophers slow down Dante Moore, the Oregon's dynamic quarterback? They're gonna have trouble with Oregon's monsters up front on their defensive line. Gophers offensive coordinator Greg Harbaugh was singing their praises about how menacing they can be. We saw the Gophers go on the road and really struggle this year. They struggled at Cal, which is an okay team. At number 1 Ohio State, they got railroaded, and at Iowa, they got beat pretty badly too. So that track record, given what Oregon has been, the fact that they just went to Iowa and won in a rainstorm where the Gophers lost by, 39 points, 38 points, it's going to be really, really difficult. It's going to take, like I said, winning the turnover margin by a few points, by a few takeaways to giveaways. It's going to be explosive plays, and it's going to be maybe something fluky in the return game as well for the Gophers to pull off a massive upset.
What a fun trip going all the way to Eugene, Oregon to go see the Gophers. That seems awesome. Hopefully, I think there should be a good amount of Minnesota fans that'll go out there. You think?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
You'll see.
I think so. I think given the fact that it's a road opponent now, it's looked at as one of the best places to go watch college football. I think we've seen that for the Gophers over the time that they've had unique road opponents. They've really kind of turned out. They did it at Cal. They're going to do it at Eugene. They go to Seattle and play Washington next year. We saw it at the Rose Bowl last year. There was 8,000 to 10,000 people, maybe even more than that. So when they go on the road, they do have some fans that'll come and follow them just for the experience of playing in these environments.
I love it. And if you don't go to Oregon, you can watch the game right here on Fox 9.
Look at that.
8 o'clock, Fox 9, Minnesota at number 8, Oregon. The new CFP poll was released last night. Andy Greder from the Pioneer Press. We appreciate you, Andy. Safe travels out to Oregon.
Thanks for having me back, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Yeah, when Andy said, he's like, we had a lot of Minnesota fans that went to the Rose Bowl. I was thinking, Rose Bowl game? When did that happen? Yeah. I was like, no, you guys just played UCLA.
Hey, just play. That's how it works these days, okay? That's how it works these days. We could have made it in if they still had it as the old Rose Bowl. We could have made it in.
That's right. Yeah.
That's how it works these days. We can't. Hey, we're just playing the game how it was presented. You know what I'm saying?
It's an honor to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
it's just UCLA.
for sure.
I'm not saying it's not an honor. Yeah.
Sure you're not.
I'm not.
Sure you're not.
I'm not. I think it's cool.
That is funny though. You're like, wait, Rose Bowl?
Yeah. I did a double take there. So it'll be cool when they go play SC at the Coliseum. That's an awesome place.
Yeah,
awesome venue.
sure.
So, yeah.
When you think about Rose Bowl history,
yes,
you think about Vince Young.
Yep.
Think about Reggie Bush.
Yeah, Keith Jackson. Yeah, the granddaddy of them all.
And of course, you think about Goldie the Gopher.
And rowing the boat. That's what I think of
Sky
when I think of Pasadena, California.
Ski-U-Ma,
think of the maroon and gold and Ski-U-Ma. When I think of Minnesota today, I think of Krispy Kreme.
Hell yeah, they're back, baby.
They're in Fridley.
They're back.
They're in the house. They're in Fridley, Minnesota. Today was opening day for them. This is huge.
First time back in almost 2 decades.
Almost 2 decades. The Krispy Kreme corporate head of development is coming into Studio 9 with donuts.
Oh!
That were made in Fridley.
No way!
Fresh donuts.
This is the best segment we've ever done.
It's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We are back here on the afternoon shift. This is a segment of the century, potentially.
Yeah, I thought I died and went to heaven for a second, but yes. I basically am in heaven, but I'm still alive.
Yep, you are right here in Minnesota, and folks, this is not a joke. Krispy Kreme, they are back in the land of 10,000 legs.
It's about damn time.
It was a nearly 20-year hiatus. They're in 40 countries around the world, but the newest Krispy Kreme location in the world is in Fridley, Minnesota. We have Krispy Kreme's corporate head of development, Mr. Patrick McIntyre. Patrick, welcome to the afternoon shift. How are you?
I'm ecstatic to be here, and I've got fresh donuts for you.
That's amazing.
You're my favorite guest we've ever had.
That's right. Yeah, when you show up with donuts, everyone loves you. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? But it's the challenge with my family, though, because any family function, where are the donuts?
Yeah, they're expecting it all the time.
Gift and a curse.
Right.
Well, you're a gift. You're a gift to us today. Can you talk to us about opening day and
Sure.
Fridley? How did it go today?
Yeah, so my alarm went off at 4 o'clock this morning.
Oh my gosh.
And I was driving so I live in Shorewood, Minnesota, and I'm driving there. And I'm like, I wonder how many people are going to be there. And then we had people waiting the day before. We had a couple families waiting since noon yesterday.
What?
When I pulled up and I saw that there was cars 100+ deep already waiting to go to the drive-thru, I was like, this is going to be a big day. It's going to be a big day. And right now, when I left, when we made those donuts and I came here for you, we still have the hotline on. We've had it on since 8 o'clock this morning. Yeah. We had over, we think, 400 people still in line.
That's incredible. Well, clearly, obviously, I mean, look at that. People are jumping up and down, excited.
That's Izzy. Izzy was, she's a 14-year-old young lady from Wayzata, and she told her dad she wanted to be the first one, and she actually got one of our golden tickets, so she'll get free donuts for a full year.
What?
From Krispy Kreme, yeah. So you can go tonight, tomorrow, to Krispy Kreme in Fridley, and you may win one of our 120 celebratory golden tickets, and you get free Krispy Kreme donuts free for a year.
Like you could go every day.
You can go once a month.
Okay, all right. I was gonna say there's got to be some type of catch here. There's got to be some type of catch
still
here.
free,
but still,
though.
that's incredible.
It's free.
Free is free.
I mean,
free is free,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So obviously Minnesotans are super excited about Krispy Kreme's return. What made now the perfect time for Krispy Kreme to make its return to Minnesota?
You know, I travel a lot, anywhere I go in the world, but definitely in the U.S. People go, I need one in my neighborhood. I need one in my town. Why haven't you come to fill in the town?
Right.
So we're very opportunistic. We're always looking for where we want to be next. We've wanted to be in Minnesota for a long time, and the opportunity came up in Fridley. I stood in that building in late 2023. My son was 7 at the time. I have a picture of him standing in the middle of this dark, moldy CVS that we've now turned into the largest Krispy Kreme in the United States.
The one in Fridley that's the largest in the
U.S.? It's
U.S.?
the largest retail shop that we've ever had in the United States. It's over 12,000 square feet.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
It's palatial.
Yeah.
It's palatial. Right here in Minnesota. You know, you said you're Minnesota-based. I know Krispy Kreme. I've been to the first. It's in Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem, Shop 101.
Shop 101. How did you end up? How do you have this job and you're here in Minnesota? Like, is this just a national company?
Well, it's an international company. I've been in retail my entire life. I mean, since I was old enough to pick up a box, I've been selling something with my dad, and I did 15 years with a major international company and CEO. Friend of a friend, had some conversations, and they're like, hey, we got a job for you. We'd love you to come over here and help us bring Krispy Kreme to more people around the world. And I was like, I'd love to do it. And one of the first things he says is, you live in Minnesota, let's get a shop in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I said, let's go.
Awesome. So we can thank you for Krispy Kreme's
No, well, I think you can thank the fans, right? Because people are like, well, why Minnesota? Why now? I'm like, look behind me. There's hundreds of people in line who are ecstatic to come to Krispy Kreme. It's not because of me. It's not because of our CEO. It's because of the fans who love this brand so much and get so excited. I mean, look how you lit up in the lobby. You were like, you brought donuts? Let's go. That's the power of our brand. And so super excited to continue to do that and super thankful to do it here in Minneapolis.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, I've known people to drive across the border to get Krispy Kreme donuts like it's an illicit substance or something, but no need for that anymore. But I'm curious, like Adam said, it's been almost 2 decades. What's changed about Krispy Kreme since it was last in Minnesota?
What hasn't changed is that donut right there. You should try one. Okay, that's an original glazed donut.
Yes.
Same recipe for 88 years. Okay, we're gonna get sugar all over this desk. This hasn't changed, right?
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, we're getting it. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. And you can tell us how it tastes too. So I'll keep the audio going. So we don't.
Perfect.
There you go. It's perfect, right?
Flawless.
You want a donut? No, he doesn't want a donut.
Funny, we get donuts.
In winter here. Wait, there it is. There it is. That's amazing. All of this, all the same bar. Oh, we got it all. We got it all.
Got him glazed hands.
Just out. That's it.
He was never here. He was never here.
A donut paper from Fox 9's chief meteorologist. Unbelievable.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the power of Krispy Kreme.
It's the power of the brand. It really it is an amazing brand. And I think to your original question, I think the number one thing that's changed from when we were here last time is, when we came to Minneapolis, or we came to the Twin Cities, came to Metro, we were a franchise business. And so I can't speak to why the franchisee left. Probably their lease was up, things changed, whatever the case may be. This is a company-owned location that we've created. And now the model is, you want a hot donut, you're going to go to Fridley. And you're going to have a hot donut. But the number one reason people don't buy Krispy Kreme is can't find Krispy Kreme. And so we now have key customers, mass market retailers, grocery stores where you can now buy Krispy Kreme. You may want the hot donut. Great. Come to Fridley, in the morning or in the afternoon, get your hot donut. But if you're going to a church event, you're going to a school event, you're like, I should really bring some donuts. I don't have time to go to Fridley, but I am here at my local grocery store. I'm going to grab a box and I'm going to bring it with us, right? Yeah. And so I think that's what's changed from 17 years ago.
Yeah. I had a friend in college. There was a Krispy Kreme in the college town I went to, and the red light, and he swore when you went in and the red light was on, you can go in and get a free Is this true? Is this a myth? You can go, if the red light, you can get a free donut if the red light is on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
If the red light is on, you can walk in the store and just say, can I sample a donut?
Yeah.
And they'll give you a free,
Absolutely.
Give you one right off the bat.
I got to take notes about this.
We can just leave right now and go.
I mean, let's just go. Let's just call over right now.
That's true, though? That's still true? That hot light theory is true? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I mean, there's some of those big box stores you may have gone into and they try to give you a sample. Yeah. Most of the time what happens, you buy it, right?
Right.
And so when people have an original glazed donut, their mind is just like blown, particularly if they've never had it before. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, I've had lots of donuts, I've had lots of sweet treats, but having this hot and like watching it mesmerizingly come out of the fryer, flip over, go through that waterfall of glazing, and then they eat it and they're like, oh. And they're like, how many can I carry? And the number one question today, I was asked as I was walking the line, kind of hyping people up, getting excited, how many can I buy? Is there a limit? I was like, the only limit is how much money you have in your wallet. That's the limit. Yeah. And people were like, awesome. Well, I'm going to buy 4. I'm going to buy 6. I'm going to buy 8. And it's just people carrying bags to the office, to the work, to wherever they're going. I mean, so many people were like, my boss let me take the morning off so I could get donuts for everyone. I was like, all right.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But part of the magic is seeing it be made. Do you guys kind of have what was the origin behind letting people behind the curtain and see things get made?
It's an old story. The founder was making these amazing donuts, and he was fundamentally selling them out of a hole in a wall where they were making the donuts, and people were like, oh, that's really cool, and it was interesting, and that's really where it came from. 88 years ago. And so this is still the same as it was 88 years ago, but the love that people have of seeing it be made in front of them is really, I think, the magic. And the joy, though, also of the brand. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have Krispy Kreme where I grew up. I grew up in Warwick, Rhode Island. Well, I grew up in Cranston, but in Warwick, Rhode Island, they opened up a Krispy Kreme. And so I was like, I went in, had a hot donut. Oh my God, this is amazing, whatever. Right. And all my friends would sell for making money for, fundraising. Mm-hmm. They'd sell candy bars. Mm-hmm. And no one ever wanted a candy bar because they're like, yeah, whatever. Yeah. I would sell Krispy Kreme because we do fundraising. And so I made so much money for my hockey team because they're like, oh my God, you got Krispy Kreme. So to this day, we raise millions and millions of dollars through fundraising and allowing people to buy our product at a significant discount and resell it at full value and have the difference for their community.
Wow, that's incredible. You could have probably bought the damn hockey team by the time you were done selling those donuts.
I should have.
You all are obviously known for just the original glazed donuts, but we do have here some specialty ones as well. Can you talk to us? A lot of people don't even know that Krispy Kreme even sells, non-glazed donuts. What are some of these specialty ones? What are some of the hot sellers that you guys got going on?
Yeah, so you've got Oreo, cookies and cream. That's an amazing one. Chocolate with sprinkles. My son Max, his name is Maximus, but we call him Max for short. Chocolate with sprinkles is bar none his favorite donut. He's like, I just want chocolate with sprinkles, and if he can make the sprinkles himself, he'd love it. Strawberries are favorite. We just brought back some things to our menu that we haven't had in quite some time. So maple iced is back. That's a huge fan favorite. Yes. There's one, I believe there's one in there that is, we call it, it's a cream filled donut, and we discontinued it, and customers were like, please bring back the Krispy Kreme filled donut. Mm-hmm. And it's basically the same flavor as this icing, but in a cream inside the donut.
Oh.
That's the face, right? And that's what people love. And so we just brought that one back. We got New York cheesecake with us. Oh. We've got our cookie butters in there. We have apple cinnamon filled.
That pink one, I'm not a Simpsons guy, but that's
like a quintessential Simpsons.
I mean, that looks
right
fake
there.
almost, doesn't it?
It does.
Look
it's like a
almost
prop
fake.
donut.
Yeah,
it's so perfect.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, there, Paul's got a shot of it there. That's awesome.
Homer would eat the hell out of that for sure.
He would need a dozen.
Now, Adam mentioned it in the intro. You guys are in all countries all around the world. I was actually just recently in Croatia, and I was kind of surprised to see Krispy Kreme in the grocery store there. Can you just talk about your international presence? Obviously, we're focused on Fridley in the Minnesota store, but you could just briefly touch on your international presence.
I mean, it's the same premise. The reason people don't buy Krispy Kreme is because they can't get there, right? So we can't move fast enough when you think about our growth internationally. And so we're very happy we're doing 2 new countries this year. We're continuing to grow internationally, and the strategy is simple. Like, where do people love donuts and love spread and joy? And then Krispy Kreme should be there, right? And so a lot of work happens behind the scenes to make all of that come to life. But we've had some amazing openings in some great countries in the last few years, and it's been wonderful. But returning to the United States and opening up a shop in Minnesota and seeing literally the thousands of people that came out today for it, like, just re-energizes me and makes me excited that, like, this is what this brand's all about. It's an United States brand, grew up in North Carolina. Here we are in the metro, and people are just, I don't want to say, I think of the right word there, but like so excited to come get the hot original glazed donut.
And we're so excited to have you here. Patrick McIntyre, Krispy Kreme's corporate head of development. Go check out the Krispy Kreme
come on down.
store, the largest Krispy Kreme retail store in the United States.
Now, what do you do on the business card? Do you do corporate with the K?
We do not. We do not. We don't even have business cards anymore. Like the mayor this morning handed me his card, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. But I can give you a donut.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Card. Right. That's better than a card.
Just
People
call me.
remember you by that.
It's right here. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah,
we appreciate
sure.
it. We are not going to go to commercial break. We're actually going to bring you live right now to the House floor inside the U.S. Congress, where they are voting on a bill that could potentially reopen the government. Let's take a live look in what's going on right now.
Back us up on that. And he's the first president ever in history to actually shut off food benefits to people during a shutdown. Shame on him. I now yield 1 minute to the gentleman from California, Mr. Khanna.
Gentleman from California is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, our country is at a moral crossroads. Just today, it comes out that billionaires are worth $8 trillion, more than 50% of Americans combined. And what does the president do? He decides he doesn't have the money for the American people. He's going to starve the American people to give $40 billion to the corrupt libertarian leader in Argentina. $9 billion would have fed the American people. How is that America first? And then he says, I don't care about the cab driver who's paying $2,600 now per month in health insurance as opposed to $44, because I don't want to save the 20 million Americans who are going to face high premium increases. How is that America first? We need national health insurance in this country. We need to tax billionaires in this country. We need to fund SNAP in this country, and we need to stop funding Argentina and corrupt foreign leaders.
Gentlelady from Minnesota.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just wanted to address for just a second the health care issue that the Democrats continue to bring up and act like this had anything to do with everyone in the country's premiums, because we are talking about the COVID era Affordable Care Act's COVID era subsidies. So this is not what is affecting other people's premiums, other than those folks that qualify for those COVID era premium subsidies. That's it. They continue to make it sound like this is responsible for every kind of increase that people are seeing. And so the Affordable Care Act's original subsidies will remain in place. So that's the original subsidies, ensuring that millions still qualify for the income-based tax credits and capping out-of-pocket costs relative to income. It's the COVID era. I can't say that enough. It is the COVID era subsidies that are in question here. Premium and premium increases are actually driven by multiple factors, including medical inflation, provider consolidation, and rising drug costs. But to actually reduce premiums, that's what we must address. And we must have comprehensive discussions about that, not just political theater and sound bites. We have to actually sit down and have those discussions, and that's what getting the government back open will do. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves her time. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Mr. Speaker, the ACA polls at 65%. Donald Trump is at 37%. I now yield 1 minute to the gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Presley.
Gentlelady from Massachusetts is recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today on behalf of every elder who can't afford their prescription, every parent who went to work hungry so their child could eat. In the United States of America, there is no lack of resource, only a deficit of empathy, political will, and courage. At its best, government is a backstop, a compassionate steward of the public good. At its best, government catches people when they stumble in a moment of hardship. At its best, government does right by the people, all the people. Struggle does not discriminate, Mr. Speaker. Hardship is not a character flaw. It has zero to do with work ethic. Every single person is one diagnosis, one layoff away from hardship. Life can change at an instant. What we are bearing witness to is not only a lack of political courage, but it is a fundamental betrayal of the people. Incompetence and indifference to the suffering of our constituents and our neighbors. The shame and the sham of it all. Any member of Congress who would vote to deny a child a meal or medication, it is child abuse and neglect. I ought to file a 51A on you for that. Every person in this chamber, every person in our country has lost a loved one to cancer, and yet you would vote to deny people life-saving cancer treatment and research. Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, and with the majority, you have chosen to enact harm to make people hungrier, poorer, sicker, and less safe. The shame and the shame of it all. You, the people, deserve better. We, the people, deserve better, and I won't stop fighting until you get it.
Gentlelady from Minnesota.
Prepared to close.
Gentlelady's prepared to close. She has 4 minutes remaining. Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'd like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Pocan.
Gentleman from Wisconsin is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, the federal government will officially reopen with the House vote today. But here's what won't happen. We won't protect the 22 million people paying more for the Affordable Care Act, or the 15 million people losing their health care outright due to Republican actions in the big ugly law, nor will we stop the health care rate increases for everyone in this country. And we won't be restoring food assistance today for millions of Americans who benefit from SNAP because House Republicans voted to cut the #1 program that keeps kids and seniors out of poverty by over $180 billion. Nor will we be able to roll back the tax cuts for billionaires and your GOP donors that you funded by gutting those health care and food programs. But I sure hope you're tanned and rested after your 8-week paid vacation, because you're going to need it. Democrats are going to continue fighting every single day for people's health care and food benefits, and we're going to be on you day after day until we get it done. Vote no. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. Gentlelady from Minnesota.
I'm prepared to close, Mr. Speaker.
Gentleman from Massachusetts.
I'm not quite yet, so I yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Olszewski.
Gentleman from Maryland is recognized for 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, this funding deal is why Americans have lost faith in Congress. It does absolutely nothing to address the crushing cost of health care and what amounts to a massive tax hike on working families. It does absolutely nothing to stop President Trump from canceling the very funding we would provide, something he's already done again and again. But here's what it does. It allows senators to write themselves, and only themselves, million-dollar checks because their phone records were legally subpoenaed, checks paid for by American taxpayers. It's corruption at a whole new level. With bribery and insider trading, someone breaks the law. Here, Congress is writing a law that protects and funds corruption. It's brazen and disgusting in an effort to legalize corruption. And anyone who votes for this CR is complicit in that corruption. If government still belongs to the people and not the powerful, we must reject this self-serving scam. I yield.
Gentleman yields back his time. Gentlelady from Minnesota is still prepared to close. Gentleman from Massachusetts with 2.5 minutes remaining.
So I'll close, Mr. Speaker, for our side. Mr. Speaker, I don't have enough time to rebut all the absurd claims made by the other side. Suddenly, they all have an opinion on health care. They had a decade to come up with a plan, and they came up with nothing. But I'm glad they finally acknowledged that this is a dirty Sierra that shovels millions of dollars into the pockets of Republican politicians. They hate this bill so much that they're all going to vote for it. They say that we shut the government down. Really? The last time I checked, Republicans are in charge around here. We heard for months about their mandate. They control the House, the Senate, and the White House. They have a duty to keep the government open, and they failed. They did not have the votes. They refused to negotiate with us because we wanted to help regular people instead of billionaires. And now they want to blame us for the consequences of their own actions? What the hell is wrong with them? Give me a frigging break. America is the richest country in the history of the world. We are blessed with an abundance of so much. There should not be an affordability crisis. Every single person in this country should be able to have a good job, a living wage, affordable food and health care, and have a shot at a better future. That's what I'm fighting for. That's what we're fighting for. That's how I want to make America great. That's the Democratic vision for what this country could be. And from a moral perspective, from a set of values, we believe it is immoral to have a system that gives so much to just a few billionaires while depriving so many of the basic things they need to live a good life. And it is clear to me after this debate that Republicans do not share those same values. And I'm going to fight like hell. We are going to fight like hell because I believe in America. We believe in America. And we believe that the hopes and the dreams of the American people will prevail. And with that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back his time. Gentlelady from Minnesota with 4 minutes remaining to close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And as we wrap up this debate, I want to take a moment to cut through the noise from our colleagues, from our colleagues on the left. Instead of focusing on the legislation before us, they're resorting to fear tactics and tossing out false claims about what this shutdown is really about. The CR would have kept the government open to continue and finish the appropriations process. And yet, the Democrats refused and instead chose to shut down the government. And you know, my colleague mentions values. Democrats claim that our values are different, and Democrat Wick Clark said, of course there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have. So if that's the values they're talking about, I don't share those values. I won't make the American people suffer, whether it be their SNAP payments, whether it be keeping air traffic controllers paid, whether it's paying our troops. Making the American people suffer is not the values that I share. And for the record, Republicans did not cause this shutdown, and we've not been on vacation. I've been splitting my time between D.C. and the district, as I mentioned before, meeting with constituents in both, meeting with federal agencies, hosting a teletown hall, and I know how hard my Republican colleagues have been working for their constituents and the American people. It was the Democrats who shut down the government when they refused to support a clean CR that would have kept the lights on and protected critical services. And now it's the Democrats who continue to shift the blame. Now, getting back to the issue at hand, let's talk about what this bill actually does. H.R. 5371 restores the funding for SNAP and WIC. It reimburses the contingency reserves to make sure that programs remain stable and reliable. Actually, President Trump moved $300 million of tariff revenue to fund WIC during the shutdown. Republicans are the ones protecting food security and not playing games with it. This bill also delivers for our farmers and ranchers and for rural development and invests in the community that feed this country and keep the economy strong. It supports our troops and federal workers. It ensures our service members and their families have the support they need, and it honors the promises we have made to those who have served. And yes, it reopens the government, restores stability, and resumes regular order. So let's be honest about what a yes vote means. A yes vote is a vote for veterans care. A yes vote is a vote for SNAP and WIC. A yes vote is a vote for $700,000, a fire engine in Ranking Member McGovern's district, and $1 million for the Navajo Nation Community Development Division in Representative Ledger Fernandez's district. A yes vote is for farmers. A yes vote is for troops, for our troops, and for federal workers. And yes, it is for reopening the government. And a no vote.
You're listening right now to Representative Michele Fishbach,
vote against
a
all
Republican
of that,
from Minnesota, representing the 7th
development of
congressional
a
district, the
wastewater
largest by
treatment
area,
facility in Mr. Negus's
mostly
district,
the western part of the
and
state.
$1.5 million in watershed
of the state
conservation
of Minnesota, Michele
Representative
Fishbach,
district.
and she's
It's
part
a
of the
vote
House of
against
Representatives.
federal
and they're
workers.
debating right now.
It's a vote
this
against
resolution
healthcare.
to
It's a vote
ultimately
against
reopen
feeding
federal
hungry
government.
children.
Yeah, and I
and
believe
it's a vote
we're
against
anticipating
common
a vote
sense.
pretty soon here, and from what Paul Millgate,
Mr.
our
Speaker,
producer,
with that, I yield the back.
eating and indulging in our Krispy Kremes and then talking about soccer.
Question is on order. The previous question on the resolution.
It sure
Those in
is.
favor
It sure
say
is.
aye.
Let's listen back into what's going on the House floor.
Opinion of the chair. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker,
Gentleman from Massachusetts.
Hearing aid, I think. I asked for the yeas and nays.
Yeas and nays are requested. Those favoring a vote by the yeas and nays will rise. Sufficient number having risen, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their votes by electronic device. Pursuant to Clause 9 of Rule 20, the chair will reduce to 5 minutes the minimum time for any electronic vote on the question of adoption of the resolution. This is a 15-minute vote.
So it looks like they're about to vote, and you can see the votes actually coming in real time.
Wow.
Now.
That's incredible.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing. It looks like there's a little bit of countdown there.
Yep.
The next 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, we will find out the fate of the government shutdown. Is that true?
I'm not. Maybe. I'm not. Maybe. Potentially. Yes. I think potentially. Yes.
I truly have no idea. We'll find out the fate of something.
Dr. Swers would know for sure.
Yeah, she would. She should probably be the person here instead of me. My understanding here is this is the initial one, so it gets the temperature of what everyone's saying. You know, we have to factor in here there's political theatre at play, you know, so people are, you know, publicly voting a particular way, you know, or they're voting in a particular way in this first vote. We'll see what happens as those conversations then progress into the evening, because we are not expecting this to be the only vote that takes place today. That's my understanding. I could be completely wrong, so if I'm wrong, send us something on the Instagram. But that's how I understand that this is about to play out. So yeah, seeing that coming in live is actually pretty cool, isn't it?
It is.
We're going to find out how this all takes place. But like you said, it could be done and dusted in this 15-minute window.
Well, I didn't necessarily mean. I just meant like the fate moving forward. Are we going to move forward with tonight's vote? Are we? It's still it's still a big deal.
It could definitely be solved, I guess. You know, like we could see that. So that's
Yeah, we'll see what ends up happening tonight. It's this is for like the political science people out there. This is like almost like the Super Bowl kind of like, or at least a playoff game tonight. Yeah,
I'm sure some of our poli-sci professors that we've had on are sitting with their eyes glued to the TV right now, just eagerly awaiting what happens in this upcoming vote and the votes later tonight as well.
Yeah, you know what I love the most about this graphic is that I feel like even as the years have gone on, that graphic has been the exact same.
It's the same.
It's the same font, the white text, like it's all like you have all these different score bugs and what. That graphic on the Senate and House floor,
the same.
It's very plain, but never changed.
No need for innovation. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. Pretty cool that we got to listen into Representative Michele Fishbach there, representing, like I said, Minnesota's 7th congressional district. She seems to be sort of a leading voice among Republican representatives here in sort of this debate that's going back and forth.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
absolutely. It's a pretty cool thing, and it's a pretty cool thing to keep watching these votes run in here for the next 12 minutes and change.
Yeah, I also like how it's not yes or no; it's yay or nay.
Yay or nay.
Yay or nay.
Yay or nay. And
you know, when we're voting,
I like how it's like if you didn't know better, if you're just like learning how to read it, would just be like yeah.
Right.
Like just like casual, like yeah or nay, but it's just like a yeah, not even with the H.
Right.
You know, it just kind of looks like it's just like
yeah.
I guess. Yeah, we can release the file. Sure. You know, but then the nay. I love it. Like you said, no need to fix it if it ain't broken.
Is that how we're gonna vote on segments for the afternoon?
Yeah, just
yay or nay.
Yay or nay.
Yay or
Let's
nay
do
votes.
it.
Yeah,
and we'll have a live thing just up on the screen as well. Do you want Max to keep talking? And then the votes will roll in. And it'll say nay, and I'll have to shut up and. All of a sudden, it'll say who voted. It's like, Paul-Millgate voted nay. What? Grace Henry voted nay? Come on, man.
What about me?
You voted yay. You voted yay. You voted yay. I entertain you.
You do entertain. You entertain me a lot. I'm always entertained at 3 o'clock today. Or every day I'm entertained. We've been trying to do live polling on the afternoon shift. Maybe this is our
This is our gateway into it.
This
right
is our
here.
gateway. This is our gateway.
This is our gateway into it.
Yes.
Mr. Millgate, do you want us to hang out on the screen? Do you want us to throw to the vote?
I think that we should. Oh, you mean just sit on the vote in total?
Yeah.
I was trying to do some quick mathematics. I don't know how your maths is here. How many votes are we looking for one way or the other? Do you know what we're looking at here? I should have probably.
I'm going to leave it to the math majors. You two.
I have no idea.
Mathematics is not my strong point. The only maths I do know is that this vote runs out in 10 minutes and 50 seconds. And we actually hand over to the wonderful Simone and Kelsey Carlson very soon, in about 3 minutes.
You know what I thought was interesting that Dr. Swers of Georgetown University said earlier was that unlike the Senate, where this could go all night. You know, I think Hakeem Jeffries talked for 24 hours at one point, or Cory Booker talked for. It was Cory Booker. He talked for 24 hours. She said the House has more stringent rules. Like this is like they go to bed.
The House is like, hey, we old.
We took a 50-day hiatus.
Right.
We're going to bed.
We're not messing around. I'm putting my dentures in the glass. I'm not. We're not hanging out here all night. This ain't a party.
Nope.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. And I ain't staying here all night. So I appreciate that.
Right.
There's no nonsense with them.
Yeah. It's definitely a reason to be a congressman as opposed to a senator, right? Like if you're going to sign up for one or the other, Congress means you get to go home. It's not going to just stay there. Whereas the Senate must be where all those the massive filibusters.
I feel like that senator, you get that's a little bit more of a rare air, though. Yeah, that's a nice. That's nice.
With your chest puffed out.
That's nice to say you're a senator.
A little bit more.
Yeah, Senator Fuller.
Senator Fuller.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
It's
I kinda
almost
like that.
I actually think it might be cooler than governor, personally.
Yeah,
personally.
being a senator?
I think
Less
so.
pressure too.
I think so. Way less pressure.
Way less pressure. You get all the same perks. I'm sure.
You got 2 houses. You got a house in D.C., a house back home.
Oh, that would be sweet.
So,
politics. I don't know. Get into the politics game.
We're trying to find out here. We're thinking. Grace is running some maths up here and doing some research for us. We think that we're looking for 218 votes for this to pass or to fail. That's what we think. So that could be wrong. We're not sure.
That was the same threshold that earlier we were told. That's the threshold for the Epstein file release as well.
So that 218 then is probably what we're looking for here. So it's interesting. It's interesting the conversations that must be taking place on the floor there, because there's still a lot of people that have not voted still. Like I wonder if there's some strategy in that, like hold back, don't actually vote early.
Yeah, or it's just like a last minute thing where like someone's standing and like whispering in the ear like, hey, I mean, I was showing people PowerPoints backstage over the next 8 minutes and 40 seconds. I am curious about the non-voters as well. Or maybe they just don't want any smoke. Do they have to?
You don't have to.
They don't have to.
You don't have
they
to
could
vote.
just be like, hey, I don't even care, bro.
That's right.
I mean, that would be irresponsible.
It would be irresponsible.
But I guess they technically could. I'm very curious to see how many of those votes flood in the next 8 minutes and 20 seconds.
Absolutely.
Well, we're only going to see a minute of it because we're going to actually be off the air handing over to Simone and Kelsey.
Well, speak for yourself, Paul. I'm going to keep watching. I mean, speak for yourself.
Well, you want to be a senator, so you're going to be here all night.
I got to study. Yeah, I got to study up. I got to brush up on my senatorial duties.
That's right.
So I'm going to study. Speak for yourself, Paul. You might not be watching it, but I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be a little cross-eyed because I'm going to be watching on one TV. I'm going to be watching this, and on the other TV, I'm going to be watching the 5 o'clock news. Who's at the desk today, Adam?
So I think Simone and Kelsey are at the desk.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. At the desk, as usual, the best of the best. We are getting ready to depart you now, but in the meantime, I'm still Max Fuller. This is Adam-llorens.
Yep.
Luckily for you, we won't be gone for too long. You got 23 hours. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, hopefully with an update on this whole government shutdown bit. But in the meantime, we give you the 5 o'clock news. Signing off on the afternoon shift, I'm Max Fuller, Adam-llorens, Paul-Millgate, Grace Henry. The 5 o'clock news starts